Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily. The Verification Commission for Warsaw Reprivatisation has overturned 4 decisions from 2015 to grant Robert N. and his accomplice Janusz P. 5.5 million zloty for the real estate at Topiel 16. The decisions were originally made by the then Mayor of Warsaw, Hania Gronkiewicz-Waltz.
The Commission completely annulled 4 decisions made by the Mayor of Warsaw on the determination and award of compensation to Janusz P. and Robert N. for 5.5 million zlotys. The Commission referred the case to the Mayor of Warsaw for reconsideration. The chairman of the Commission said that compensation should never have been paid to Robert N. and Janusz P. We have found that the town hall has unlawfully paid 5.5 million zlotys to Janusz P. and Robert N. because this property was unsuitable for repayment or compensation. At the same time, it is worth mentioning that, among other things, officials of the Warsaw City Hall held corruption allegations for issuing these decisions. As for this property, the matter is very complicated. It was the case of Mr. Włodawer who sold his inheritance to these 2 men. Now the question arises whether they have regained it legally or not, because Włodawer's right to this property were undisputed. This is why it is not such an obvious matter. It is not clearly stated that there has been any corruption or illegal activity. According to Sebastian Kaleta, the decisions to grant compensations were issued in violation of the law and the city should apply for a refund of the money paid to Robert N. and Janusz P. I expect that, immediately after issuing the decision, Mayor Trzaskowski will apply for enforcement of the amount that Hanna Gronkiewicz-Waltz officially paid out. This is a gigantic amount, 5.5 million zlotys. This is one of many decisions that have been overturned by the Commission. These several millions are waiting to return to the city budget, and I'm wondering if the Mayor of Warsaw is determined to fight for this money. In January 2019, the regional prosecutor in Wrocław filed an objection against the decision of the Mayor of Warsaw to grant compensation. According to the Commission, before the outbreak of World War II, the property at Topiel 16 consisted of residential buildings. Due to the serious destruction of buildings during the war, the demolished buildings were dismantled shortly afterwards.
The Polish archbishop, Marek Jędraszewski, has received more support for speaking out against the rainbow plague. This time it comes from the head of the church in the Czech Republic, as well as the chairman of the Episcopate of Slovakia and Hungary, who reacted by sending out expressions of solidarity with the metropolitan of Krakow. The support for the Archbishop comes in response to a media storm that broke out after his homily at St Mary's Church on the anniversary of the Warsaw Uprising.
We know from our history that persistence in teaching our faith has repeatedly caused the anger of others. Nevertheless, we are observing with disbelief the recent unjust attacks because you have only expressed the teaching of the Catholic Church in the face of the phenomenon of our time. It is shocking that those who demand acceptance of their set of values at the same time refuse the exact same right to you and also the right to speak to those who have a different opinion on a given matter. Because these attacks are unprecedented, we too want to express with this letter our solidarity and our brotherly support. The heads of Catholic conferences of Hungary, the Czech Republic and Slovakia sent letters in support and solidarity with the Polish Archbishop Marek Jędraszewski. They emphasized the importance of respect for any human being on one hand, including any person of the gay and lesbian group, and on the other hand, the fact that this respect cannot be interpreted as an acceptance of the LGBT ideology. This is the underlying message which comes to us from various supporters from many directions of Europe. The Catholic Church's stance had been explained very precisely in a letter by the chairman of the Polish Bishops' Catholic Conference, and it says that persons of various sexual orientations are our brothers and sisters, but at the same time this doesn't express support of the LGBT ideology. This is a very precise statement, and it is consistent with the Catholic Church Catechism, the Bible, and the Christian and Jewish traditions as well.
A woman is dead and another injured after being attacked by an Islamist extremist in the centre of Sydney. The assailant yelled "Allahu Akbar" during his assault. Whilst attempting to attack other passers-by, he was overpowered and detained by British holidaymakers and subsequently arrested by local police.
A man armed with a knife was restrained in Sydney's central business district on Tuesday by members of the public after attacking two women. A 21-year-old woman was found dead at an apartment building, and a second woman, 41, was taken to the hospital in a stable condition with a stab wound on her back. This was classified as an unprovoked attack by a man who has since been taken into custody. The unidentified man had also tried unsuccessfully to stab other people in an incident that brought the central business district in Australia's largest city to a standstill in the early afternoon. The event sparked an investigation into how the accused man, aged 21, went from living with his parents to committing such a terrible crime. Police did not say how the first woman died, but confirmed that the man was responsible for both attacks, adding that the attack cannot be classified as a terrorist incident, a claim that could be reassessed as the investigation pursues. The man, who police did not name, was carrying a knife and a computer thumb drive containing information about deadly attacks in North America and New Zealand when he went on the frenzy as a lone wolf.
The European migration crisis is continuing to strain relations within the European Union. NGO vessels are picking up an increasing number of African migrants off the Libyan coast who are then left stranded on board vessels for weeks as no EU member states volunteer to let the migrants disembark at their ports. Currently, 507 migrants on board 2 NGO vessels have been left in limbo. Meanwhile, Greece is reporting a spike in migrant arrivals and is demanding a new common EU asylum law based on mandatory migrant relocation quotas.
The NGO vessel Ocean King, run by Doctors Without Borders, and the Franco-German NGO SOS Mediterranean picked up 81 migrants on Sunday and another 105 on Monday, bringing up the total number of migrants on board to 356. Information given by representatives of the NGO on the 85 migrants picked up on Friday show that the gender disproportion among the migrants is very high, as the group consists of 75 adult men, 5 women and 4 children.
This morning, with the assistance of aerial assets, we were able to locate the boat. So we were able to complete a safe rescue and have everybody on board. We have 85 people total, it was including 5 women and 4 children.
The Spanish NGO vessel Open Arms picked up an additional 31 migrants on Saturday, bringing up the total number of migrants on board to 151. Hollywood actor Richard Gere made an appearance on the vessel, calling for Europeans to allow the migrants to disembark in their countries.
The most important thing for these people here is to be able to get to a free port, be able to get off the boats, get on land and start a new life, be taken care of and make a life for themselves.
Later, at a press conference, the actor slammed the Italian government for stopping mass migration to Italy.
I'm coming from a place with a very bizarre political situation also right now. But also a president who's putting an enormous amount of energy into demonizing people who are, again, running from a fire. We have our problems with refugees coming from Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, from Mexico. It's very similar to what you're going through here. Again, a very bizarre government whose intent on not solving a problem. I heard about this new, very disturbing law, which didn't sound like my friends the Italians, who I love very dearly. And this law made it an offense to help NGOs that are doing good things in the world and helping people. So I was outraged. I couldn't believe this was actually true.
Apart from the increased activity off the Libyan coast, Greece is also reporting a spike in arrivals. The number of migrants on 5 of its islands close to Turkey has jumped to over 20,000, an increase of 17% in just a couple of weeks. On Monday, its Minister of Migration called for the EU to take action and introduce a new European asylum law aimed at spreading out the migrants to all EU member states. The concept has been pushed by southern and western EU states but is firmly opposed by the Visegrad Group, consisting of Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, who prefer a solution modelled on Australia's migration policy based on turning boats back to where they came from.
Thank you very much for joining me here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Stay tuned after the break for Poland Daily weather. It's followed by the business, then it's the culture, history and finally the travel.